And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They're led out by a man who started more Super Bowls than anyone in NFL history, the great Tom Brady.
I can't help but admire the career Tom Brady has had. The numbers are off the charts. The Super Bowl championships and rings, we know that they are incredible. But how about the durability? Had one season that he missed, most of that season because of a knee injury. The rest of the time, he answers the bell and wills his team to victory more times than not. That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Caught on the right side by Jones. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
Now, meanwhile, the throw by Brady knocked away, incomplete. All right, let's look at the offense. Devontae Freeman, this is a guy that you wanted to talk about, so take it away.
Brandon, have you seen a running back play with such joy as well as such fury? I love the way he runs the football and attacks defenses.
Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a handoff looking right. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down. And the defense now for the Eagles.
And middle linebacker Bobby Wagner, he's playing the absolute perfect position. He's the type of guy that you build around. A cornerstone of a defense, his ability to play the run, the pass, and his leadership skills, you get the full package with him.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
I wonder if they just kind of outguessed themselves a little bit trying to run it on 3rd down. Probably should have gone to the air to try and pick it up. Instead, the punting unit will have to run on the field.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. And now movement here right away. Maybe a sign of things to come with this crowd.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still 1st down.
The false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And right away, he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Working from the gun, Wentz. And got his man, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big gain of 39 on 3rd.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. There are the numbers last week for Jay Ajayi. 11 carries, 53 yards.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Time to see how Atlanta will line up defensively. They've been very good against the pass so far this year. Number 4 in the NFL right now.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Play action. Now Wentz. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play his own defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. On 1st down, Brady. The left side completion to Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The numbers for Julio in last week's effort, 6 catches, 80 yards.
And I get the feeling that he loves this matchup. I mean, the unit he's going against is in the bottom half of the league against the pass. He had to have circled this one on the schedule and said to himself, this should be a big game.
And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Looking deep for Julio. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones, his intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from there.
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley, his first touchdown on the year. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. Hey, that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Point after, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Vic Beasley able to make the tackle. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. And he connects with Ertz. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. An Eagle 1st down, Wentz to Ertz.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a 1st down.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. You might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. But at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. This is taken at about the 14. And a little spin cycle. Room to run now. A big-time return there. 40 yards. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Tom Brady leads the offense out for their next possession. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the 2nd quarter. And Brady's throw there incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he finds a man on the crossing route. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. He got 29 yards that time.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And he has reached the summit. Move over Peyton Manning. There's a new record holder at the top, partner.
And somewhere Peyton Manning is not excited about moving over, but he respects the fact that someone came and got his record. And we're here to see it. How exciting is this? Not just for us, but for all fans of football.
Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now a play fake. Wentz. A reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Wentz now on 1st down. And this is incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now Wentz. And this is Hurts with it, right side. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. Again, they'll throw with Wentz. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28.
I know you're trying not to scoreboard watch, but you only got 3 points. You're kind of hoping that that type of play there gives you some positive momentum going into the half.
Yeah, I need to do something to get more than that 3 number that they have on the scoreboard right now. To throw is Wentz. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more?
Trying for the tight end, Ertz, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, the 40, 30, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Falcons.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
Extra point attempt to come here. The extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is up to 18 now. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here. This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Wentz now on first down. That is incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15. Again, it's Wentz. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Wentz to throw again. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. This is taken at the 15. Oh, twisting away. There he goes again. A second spin. So we are at halftime here in Atlanta with the Falcons out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll begin up at MetLife Stadium. The Giants hosting Tampa Bay in an NFC matchup.
The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock the Albert away and bring up second down.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Here's Ajayi. And an Allen to run. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
So after the run by Jay Ajayi, here's 1st and 10. Throwing on first is Wentz. Ertz over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage.
And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack. Back at the 47-yard line. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. They fake the give. Now Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He gets away from one. 31 yards on the punt there. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Now they try the right side here. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Brady. It's caught. Jones. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones. His first touchdown on the year. And the Falcons will extend their lead. Charles, I had an offensive coordinator tell me one time that they designed every play to score. I don't know how true that is, but he had to run a long way after that catch. Heck of a play.
I think that when he was telling you that, he was designing run after catch in every play. I mean, that's the only way to put it in there, and that's what we got on that one. Nice catch, an even better run for big yardage.
Now the try here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And they open the lead up now to 25. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right, safety valve, throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver. Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches.
Ajayi hit. He lost the football. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
And now let's discuss Julio Jones. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
And now running right through him. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop it. Now a handoff looking right. A strong running. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Now they try the right side here. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. They run. Devontae Freeman fights through at the 5. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
In my humble estimation, terrific work there defensively. Running backs trying to get wide, get to the sideline, and they beat him to the spot, forced him out of bounds, pretty close to the line of scrimmage.
And he's got it. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Shotgun now for Brady. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Falcons add on.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
Wentz. It's complete to Golden Tate. And he's able to get up here to the 26. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight, He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Very good starting field position for the Falcons offense as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Throwing now is Brady. Looking downfield for Jones. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Here's Matt Bosher now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Caught right side, Tate. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Tech McKinley in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out.
And the pressure gets to him again. The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Now a play fake. Brady. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down. First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing, so no turnovers might lead to no victory.
On first down, Wentz. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. Golden Tate, his intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. Throwing now is Wentz. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And that will write a finish to this ball game. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Falcons, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3 and 4 through 7 games. And they'll get an extra week to think about it, as the midseason bye might be coming at just the right time. So for our entire crew, along
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Miami Dolphins. With that, let's get down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the Miami Dolphins. Hi, everyone. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And this coaching staff has to be pleased with how their defense played last week. They held their opponents to 3 points, and that was it. If they get anything comparable to that performance, this one's in the bag.
Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They're led out by a man who started more Super Bowls than anyone in NFL history, the great Tom Brady.
I can't help but admire the career Tom Brady has had. The numbers are off the charts. The Super Bowl championships and rings, we know that they are incredible. But how about the durability? Had one season that he missed, most of that season because of a knee injury. The rest of the time, he answers the bell and wills his team to victory more times than not. And they are in rhythm on offense because of him. I mean, right now, he's got everything going the way he wants to, finding the receivers the way he wants to, looking over defenses. No interceptions is the number I lock in on. Before a touchdown pass isn't so bad either.
Yeah, what a game he had last week. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And now running right through it. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. So opening drive, 3 straight runs, unable to pick up the first.
I know the fans want to see first downs, but guess what? The coaches have reasons for what they're doing. Sometimes they've scripted it, and some of these runs, while they haven't been successful now, they may be successful later on.
So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some snacks.
I was just going to say.
That's where I go. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
What's the old adage, be quick but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Looking to throw. Bennett. He goes underneath to Drake. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's second down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. And defensively going with a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd and 4. Brady going to throw. He's got the first down and more past the 40. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. The numbers for Jones last week, comfortably up over 100 yards when cruising past that number, and 2 touchdowns.
How'd you like to be the D coordinator this week? He watched that game last week, and I know his first thought was, we have to find a way to take him out of the game plan. We cannot let him do that to us.
His throw caught right around the 6. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play.
And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. Point after try forthcoming. Extra point safely through. And that makes the score 7-0. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And with a marker down, he's up just past the 25-yard line, but I think they're going to be going backwards. Let's check the call. Yeah, this is going to put them back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Back to throw. Bennett. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 6 catches, 75 yards.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
But they face a 2nd and long to start things out.
Let's go!
On the give, this is Drake. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. The defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Looking to throw. Bennett. They'll set up the screen to Drake. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So out come the Falcons now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. He had their lone TD earlier. Now he's got a first down. Of course, he's coming off that NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance. 2 scores in that game a week ago.
And how did he get them? Speed is one thing, but how about the niftiness in his route running, able to cross people up in the secondary and make sure that they can't quite get to him before the ball arrives. He's something after the catch as well.
19 on the last play, 19 more here, and another first down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up the first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll be a 2nd and long. Working from the gun, it's Brady. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Robert Quinn in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list. On 3rd and long, it's Brady. Jones breaking from the contact. Well, 3rd down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know half of your body is trying to stay behind while the other half is reaching out, trying to catch the football. The top half worked. It was the bottom half that was in question.
Drake will start the drive on the ground. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. Back to throw. Bennett. It's complete to Parker, left side. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. The Dolphins moving with a sense of urgency here. And here's Bennett looking to throw on 2nd down. And it's a fumble. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Here comes Tom Brady and the Patriot offense back onto the field. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy doesn't play well, their team's not going to win. And right now he's got his team in the lead.
And now they'll look to extend that lead. Looking back to the air on 2nd down. It's Brady. And it's caught over the middle. Hooper. Oh, and the big play's going to get even bigger as penalty flags are down. And I believe they're going to get a face mask penalty tacked on.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And that'll be hauled in by tight end. It's Hooper for the Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Extra point attempt here still to come. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll start the drive with Drake. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Now Bennett to throw on 2nd down. He dumps it off to Drake. And the ball is knocked out. And the Falcons grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Oftentimes you say some guys have a knack for creating turnovers. He forced a fumble last week, forces another one.
And one of my good coaching buddies, Frank Delano, always told me, hey, Davis, creating turnovers is not as much about skill as it is about desire.
Oh, I thought it was going to be will, because will rhyme with skill.
Come on, man.
But desire. We'll go with desire.
What are you, the rhyme master now?
Tom Brady leads the offense out for their next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Brady now to throw. And Jones has it over the middle. Well, that'll get them the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On 1st and 10, here's Brady. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Brady will try again on 2nd down. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Tom Brady, his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half. And the Falcons will extend their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Now for the point after. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 21-0. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Then the Dolphins getting set to go here.
And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Falcons grab it. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
It's not exactly round and round we go, but I'm looking at the poor defenses. All right, back-to-back possessions. The ball's turned over.
Back-to-back plays.
I mean, just that quickly. And you think you're going to the bench to get a little break, and all of a sudden you're hearing sudden change. Get back out there, grabbing your helmets and running back out on the field. I don't think it's going to affect them much now. But if this keeps up, you're going to have 2 very angry defenses. You want the offense to take care of the ball.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Brady. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That one goes for 24 yards. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Brady to throw, and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down. And his kick is good. So we are at halftime here on Halloween as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, make sure you avoid the crazies out there and welcome in everybody to this Halloween edition of our EA Sports Halftime Report. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. And it's the Buccaneers who are out in front with that game closing in on halftime. Mike Evans, a touchdown reception. Next, we'll take the trip north to the Steel City to check on the Steelers at home in Pittsburgh. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Nick Foles, throwing the football well. He has 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And for the moment, they trail the visiting Saints in that one. Cameron Meredith, a touchdown reception. In the game you're watching, it's who else? Tom Brady with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just needed to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Green's first catch of the game. Good for a first down.
All right, here we go. Green!
Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. And he coughed it up, and the Falcons grab it. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there?
Yeah.
Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing? He was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 18th round.
Well, that would have been something to see him behind the dish.
Think he gunned down a few guys?
Gunned down a few guys trying to steal second. That would have been fun to watch.
That good for 19 and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little... And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Falcons capitalize on the fumble and turn it into 6. Second effort there. He was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
A try here for the extra point. The extra point up and good, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. So now here come the Dolphins. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for you.
They stay on the ground with Drake. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out from the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the road
true.
to be fairly clear
that is
by the time we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
10 yards there to start the drive and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now Brady gets away with one. Lucky, could have been intercepted, but it falls to the ground. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Now they try the right side here. Stays on his feet. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the 3rd quarter. Back now in Miami. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9.
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. The 4th touchdown pass of the game for Tom Brady. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Extra point right down the middle, and that will extend this big lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here first and 10. Looking to throw. Bennett. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Getting set to go again on offense, we get a peek at Julio Jones now. And he is just one reception away from 10 in this game. I don't know what they need to do defensively, but something has to be altered, does it not?
I know that whenever we tried to cover a person who's having a game like this, you're trying to vary what you're doing, trying to change things up, hoping to fool him occasionally. If not fool him, fool the quarterback so maybe he doesn't read the coverage correctly. Right now, though, they're in pretty good sync.
This is caught. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection if you miss. And that'll be hauled in by the tight end. It's Hooper for the Falcon touchdown. 5 touchdown passes now for Tom Brady. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
She's singing too.
Oh, she's singing. She's
on like the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
And out come the Dolphins now. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the...
And oh, my goodness, he loses it again. And the Falcons grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves them with 3rd down and just a yard to go. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. It's a gain of 3, and it gets him to 1st.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Calvin Ridley, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? No, I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over.
And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Falcons grab it.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the fourth quarter here, and now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0. Atlanta now coming out on the field. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
In today's NFL, when you get teams in long yardage situations with your defense, you're really going to go to your speed packages. You're going to get smaller, lighter guys on the field in order to cover the expected pass. So they might want to run the ball against a smaller, lighter lineup with your big guys, and that's exactly what happened on that play. It was tough on them, and now instead of being in 3rd and very long, they ended up setting themselves up in 3rd and manageable. They've got a chance at a first down.
Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And they'll run it here. Fighting through and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And it's knocked away and incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down. He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long, with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart, and his pride has kicked in. Made a terrific play.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
That's just his 2nd catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game, and they've done a great job of doing that.
Encroachment, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun, pushing through the contact, and he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Back to throw. Bennett.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. And that is incomplete. It was Desmond Trufant right there, step for step in coverage.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for Atlanta, they move back over 500 now at 4-3. And they'll return home next week to take on the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for Miami,